So we've discussed the product equaling the product, right? We have our line segments of two intersecting secants, and the segments that are created by that intersection are congruent. The products are congruent. So I want to work with an x squared term because you're going to have one or two of those in your trials, and it's not as difficult as it seems. You're just going to end up taking the square root at the end. So I'm going to set it up the way we usually do. I'm going to say x times 3x equals 12 times 3. All right, and I made a mistake, but we'll fix it momentarily. It should be x times, I apologize, it should be x times 4x equals 12 times 3. I made a little mistake there in writing down what the problem was. So let's try x times 4x equals 12 times 3. And when we do x times 4x, we have 4x squared, right? Because now we have two x's being multiplied together. And we just stick them next to that 4, and it'll still be multiplied by 4. 12 times 3 is 36. And this is going to be very helpful to us, and the reason I had to change it to 4 is, I tried to use a perfect square, and hopefully on the homework itself, there are perfect squares that we can use. But I can't take the square root of this yet. I don't want to take the square root of this yet, because I want to get rid of this coefficient here. So x is being multiplied by 4, so I'm going to rewrite, because I always rewrite, right? 4x squared equals 36. I'm going to do my math on that, undo that multiplication with division. So x squared equals, well, 36 divided by 4 is 9. Okay, and now I can take the square root, but of course I want to leave it clean because I want to know where I came from. I'm going to rewrite and then put the square root over it, and that take the square root of x squared and you have x, and take the square root of 9 and you have 3. Now I can input this here and I get the same thing out, and these end up being congruent. They may or may not be congruent on your end. I'm looking at one, and just by estimating it, I see that those two line segments actually are congruent, just how it works out. But it may or may not be congruent, but this is how you solve it. Not a real difficult thing, but I needed to show you that there will be an x squared term, and then there's an even longer, more drawn out process coming up next.